Power 904. Power 904.
Power 904 online radio, the best in entertainment, giving it to you straight.
Greetings around the world. This is Lady Tori bringing you a good one today. We have with us a published author talking about his new book today. His name is Duane Fletcher. How you doing, Duane?
I'm doing all right.
Awesome. Now, tell us, without really, getting too far deep, but tell us, what got you started in writing?
Okay, well, first of all, I started out. Some people may know me around town and on the internet by my documentary movies that I used to film. And basically, what I did was I stopped doing the documentary movies and I started writing action novels. It appears to me that at times some people get the message more if they can see, if they can associate like somebody like Denzel Washington fighting off some bad guys, or Keanu Reeves fighting off some bad guys, diving around, fist fights, explosions, car chases. They associate that stuff better with a topic than just if you're doing a documentary movie sometimes. So what I did was I incorporated the community issues that I was addressing into the action novels, and came up with an action character that basically addresses a lot of the same community issues that I was filming about. It's like sometimes he's arguing with dirty cops. Sometimes he's fighting off a bunch of scam artists or confidence men or something like that. Or sometimes he might be fighting off like a supervillain with dreams of ruling the world and things like that. So the character basically he addresses a lot of the same issues, just a more a different platform other than just doing documentary movies. Because sometimes people think that documentary movies are boring and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I just say, well, maybe if you put it in a different format, it'll be more exciting. Also, more marketable.
Right. I agree. Definitely. So now that brings me to ask you more about you, and you sound like a fascinating person, very imaginative person. Give us a little background about you. What kind of got you to this point?
Okay, well, like I said, basically I started out attending some of the city council meetings here in Jacksonville. Turns out that some of my relatives were friends with some of the city council people, and there was like a bunch of stuff that was going on in the community. So what I did was I started sitting in on some of the city council meetings. A lot of this material comes from the city council meetings, basically, and other stuff that's going on right here in Jacksonville. And this is another thing I want to bring up too, mm-hmm. because I somebody said this to me before, and they were like, Jacksonville, you writing about stuff that's going on in Jacksonville. Nothing's going on in Jacksonville, man. Nobody wants to see a movie about Jacksonville. But truth be told, it's a lot of action movies that talk about Jacksonville. Remember Twilight? Mm-hmm. Remember Twilight, the vampires and the werewolves and stuff like that? Vampires versus werewolves. Twilight referenced Jacksonville in a couple of their films. And let's see, then you have Deadpool with Ryan Reynolds. He basically talks about Jacksonville also. So it's a lot of action movies, popular action movies that talk about Jacksonville. So what I did was I started writing some of this stuff down, and basically it's a really real good material.
Wow. That is great. Because a lot of people didn't even realize, like, one of my favorite devil advocates, and they definitely talk about Jacksonville as one of the main centers of the movie of bridging the gap between New York and Jacksonville. So that was like epic for me, and that was one of the.
Oh yeah, do you remember Twilight talks about Seattle, Washington, and Canada, parts of Canada, and it then talks about Jacksonville. And I was like, I always wondered, why would they start talking about it? So apparently the author and the storyline crosses what's going on in Jacksonville to a certain extent and things like that. So what I did was I started writing some of this material down. So basically, it's to me it's pretty good material, and it's very relevant topics like what I want to talk about before I forget to talk, so I won't forget to say it. Was that basically that has to do with the coronavirus. The coronavirus started on January 20th in Seattle, Washington. They had the first confirmed United States case of the coronavirus. It was on January 20th, 2020. The first confirmed case in the United States happened in Seattle, Washington. Okay. Now, at the same time that this was going on, there was a trial that started right next door to Seattle in Vancouver. Now, the trial is this woman, Chinese woman, Ming Wan, that basically she's accused of racketeering and money laundering and stealing patents from companies, all kinds of stuff, violating U.S. sanctions and things like that. She's accused of a lot of different stuff. And her trial started the same time that this first confirmed United States case started. Okay, so it appears as though that the virus was unleashed as part of like an escape attempt. And when it first started, it was like an escape attempt for her, and it was meant to cascade its way into the courtroom. So apparently it was like meant to cascade its way into the courtroom or something like that. So because it's such a sensitive issue, it appears as though that we need to be aware of this, because we have a court case like that about to start right here in Jacksonville, Florida.
Wow.
Okay, I'm ready. Okay, let's go ahead and start. Just start again and just start asking me a question all over again. They were standing right at the door, and just all of a sudden you could hear Grandma and Lynette just standing there talking about my barbecue grill that I just built and all of this kind of stuff. Talking about she want a barbecue grill. No, definitely I would not build her nothing. The last time we grilled out, she was so nasty to me. She was mad with Ted and started yelling at me. I had to cuss her out. And I almost got in a fist fight with Ted because she was mad with Ted because Ted cheating on her. She was mad with Ted because Ted cheating on her with some Japanese lady or something.
Again?
Oh, he done drove her crazy with this shit. He done drove Lynette straight crazy.
Let's get back into this. We can go all day.
Okay, all right. Okay,
so I'm
all right.
I'm going to start back at the court case. Give us the information about if you can, rebuttal on the Chinese lady in the courts of January 20, 2020. Start there, and then I'll rehash and cut it from there. So 1, 2, 3.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, go into coronavirus. 1, 2, 3, go.
Okay, basically, one thing that I wanted to say before I forgot to say it is that this coronavirus that we're experiencing has a lot of ramifications with a court case that went on in Canada. Okay, January 20th, there was a court case that started in Vancouver, Canada. At the same time, that was the first confirmed United States case of the coronavirus. It appears that this coronavirus was released as an escape attempt, as part of an escape attempt for this person. So basically, there's a lady named Ming Wan's. There's a lady named Ming Wan's that basically she works for a company called Huawei, Chinese phone company like AT&T, and she's in jail in Canada for like sanctions violations and racketeering, money laundering, and it appears that this virus was released January 20th, the first confirmed United States case at the same time that basically she was going to court. The same exact time frame. So if this was an escape attempt, we all need to watch out, because we have a court case like that coming up here in Jacksonville also. And the court case that's going on in Jacksonville is basically that starts on I think it's July 6th. July 6th, the court case starts in Jacksonville. So and there's a Navy lieutenant, Lieutenant Fan Yang of the United States Navy that got caught. I think the Chinese had turned him into like an arms dealer or something, and he was trying to buy guns and boats for them for the Chinese fishing fleet. So yeah, we got a court case coming up just like that right here in Jacksonville, and you know, so if this thing was released as a part of an escape attempt in Vancouver, in Seattle, neighboring Vancouver, and was meant to cascade its way into the courtroom to threaten the judge or threaten the prosecutor or threaten the judge or somebody like that, then we need to watch out here in Jacksonville also. Right. You know, so the court case for Jacksonville starts July 6th, and it's like a Chinese James Bond trial. He had top secret clearance at the Navy base and things like that, and yeah, it's pretty bad, but it's a big trial. So we probably need to watch out here in Jacksonville as well ourselves.
Well, thank you for that. That great information. That is something we really don't pay attention to, and the news will probably never ever say it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure the police in Canada. The police in Canada probably noticed the time frame was the exact same time that they were taking this person to court. Oh, my God, all of a sudden there's the coronavirus. The coronavirus is everywhere. Oh, my God, we got to do lockdowns. We got to do this. We got to do that. And, you know, so the police in Canada, they probably noticed the time frame that this virus was unleashed at the same time that they was taking this person to court. And now it appears that we have a trial like that here about to start in Jacksonville also. Not to mention the fact that, you know how everybody's wearing these masks now?
Right.
Okay, well, if this person was wearing a mask, it would have made it been easier for them to just board a plane or a train or something, and then fly away and escape their confinement. I think she's on like house arrest or something like that up there.
Wow. So then they're using the mask to mask themselves in order to blend in. So that's what technique.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it sounds like. Well, I am happy you've given us this information.
Yeah, well, that's one of the main things that I wanted to talk about. Not to mention the fact that the stock market and stuff crashed because of this too. The stock market crashed like real bad because of it too. So since the stock market crashed, you want to start paying attention to a lot of things. Like let me ask you this right here. What is your 401k? What is your 401k invested in? What is your 401k invested in? A lot of people don't know what their 401k is invested in, and they need to find out, because if it's invested overseas, your pension fund and pension plan becomes susceptible to all of these different things that's going on, all these Chinese viruses and all this kind of stuff like that. Ask your your boss or somebody, well, what is our pension fund and what is our pension plan invested in? Just basically, you would just ask the person, what is it invested in?
Sounds great. Awesome information. I think.
Yeah, because see, the thing is about this, that it's probably going to get like worse and worse and worse. It's going to get worse and worse and worse because, you have a H1N1 like a bird flu. You got an H1N2, you got an H1N3, and so on and so forth, and a swine flu. Let's say these are animal viruses. These are animal viruses that basically they get so bad till they start to take on like a human form and attacking human beings and things like that. So
mutation.
So when it gets that bad, then it has to do apparently with the process that they use to cure meat and things like that.
Wow, that's a lot of good information so far.
But so basically, when you get if you get a H1N1 and a H1N2 and a H1N3 and a H2N4, and it escalates, sooner or later it's going to turn into like a full-blown form of rabies or something like that. And that's going to be like your zombie apocalypse. Let's see, they have different things that are going on that we need to watch out for. But that's basically what I wanted the issue that I wanted to address and things like that was to talk about the court dates and the similarities of the court dates and stuff like that, because we got one here in Jacksonville about to start, and that's how I ended up writing the book. And the book talks about an escape attempt, basically a jailbreak that this because the person that's in jail, her father is like ex-Chinese military. So he has access to certain assets that other people don't. He has access to military people, military intelligence, and apparently what it looks like he has access to is viruses and things like that, bio warfare. Which personally, I believe they need to classify this as a biological warfare campaign by China. Because when they classify it as a weapon, then the general public can start to watch out for themselves.
So give us the name of the book and let us know, without giving all of it away pretty much, what this book details and goes into, But don't give us all the juice. Just give us enough to make us go and get it.
It's called Dance of the Mongoose. It's by Duane Fletcher. It just basically talks about the deadly viruses that's going on in China. It talks about the stock market. It talks about everything that basically talks about the lockdown. But the book is set just before the lockdowns. So the virus was on TV, and it was known, but there hadn't been any lockdowns and things like that yet. And so it appears that that's where it came from, that they basically, she was arrested. She was arrested by the authorities at the Canadian airport. So she can't sneak past them. They're going to know exactly who she is. But if she's wearing a mask all of a sudden and there's a coronavirus and everybody's wearing masks and doesn't want to touch each other, she could skate right past them. But someone said something about it, and she got stuck there. So she got the character in the book, it's an action novel. The character, the the villainess in the book, she got stuck there and was not able to escape, and is now facing trial and still facing extradition. So, like I said, it's a pretty good book. It's on blurb.com. And it's a really good action novel, if you ask me.
All right. Sounds very, very information based. It sounds like you took your knowledge and just basically put it in a story, like you said earlier. You know, documentaries may have been boring, but if you read it in a action-like book, it keeps you captivated. So this will be a good read, you guys. We need you to go to Blurb or hit the link on POWER904's website. Go to the homepage, click the link. It'll take you right there to the book. So how many books have you written?
Oh, wow. I've written a lot of books. Let's see. Right now, I got about 25 novels that I finished. Okay, but I've only actually published about 6 of them. But I have an action character series. It's under my own name. The action character's name is Duane Fletcher. So I play myself in the book, and it just, like I said, he deals with community issues. And this is, like I said, this is a really good issue to bring up because we need to watch ourselves with they got court cases going on in other parts of the country, and they're taking down a bunch of this equipment that this company made, and they basically they infiltrated everything and they used the surveillance cameras to spy on us. They're taking that down off the military bases. They got people in place in different companies that they use for fox hunts. A fox hunt is their belief that they can turn anybody into a spy. All they have to do is threaten them, or I guess all they have to do is threaten them, or wave money at them or something like that. But they believe that they can turn anybody into a spy.
Wow, is that one of your books?
That's the book. I mean, I got a book also called Fox Hunt. I have a series. The first one that I wrote was called Smoke. It talks about. It's on my website though. It's on my website. If you go at Issues by FCM on Twitter, or Real Duane Fletcher, DUANE. Real Duane Fletcher, Duane spelled DUANE, on Instagram. Both of those have links to my website. And you can read about what the different books are about. But I got let's see. The first one that I wrote was called Smoke. It's like a love triangle where the hero tries to save the wife of a drug kingpin from like a really abusive relationship. And then the second one was called Jade Heart. In Jade Heart, there's a jewelry store robbery, and they try to frame the character for it, and he has to help the person find out who did it and stuff like that to clear his name and things like that. And let's see, I got another one called The Unkindness, where a documentary film, it's a horror novel called The Unkindness. I write horror too. A horror novel called The Unkindness, where an unkindness is like a flock of blackbirds that they used to descend on like the Indian villages and ancient American Indian culture. Like whenever something bad happened, a flock of blackbirds would descend on the village. That's what unkindness is. And unkindness talks about the spirits being at unrest, and someone being asked to document the anomalies, like stuff floating around the room and aberrations and ghosts appearing. So they asked this guy to document it, and that's what the book is about. So I got another horror novel called let's see, what's the name of that one? That one's called Shadow Street, where this guy is like a computer nerd, and he moves right across the street from his ex-girlfriend and her new husband, and starts to terrorize them and stuff like that. So that was called Shadow Street. Let's see, I got another one.
Well-rounded.
I got another real good one called La Mort de Papa Legba. Well, that's called the Death of Father Voodoo. The Death of Father Voodoo is called La Mort de Papa Legba. It's in French. The title is. And it talks about a drug kingpin that basically he's on the run, and the feds are looking for him, and the Chinese mafia is looking for him, the Russian mafia is looking for him, the Italian mafia is looking for him because he's like a big snitch. So basically all of these different people are looking for him, and the police are looking for him. So he goes on the run, but he mysteriously dies. So then it's like a whodunit as to who exactly did him in. It's like a whodunit with like a gangster twist.
Oh, wow.
It's like a whodunit with like a gangster twist to it, you know. Okay, the guy, okay, he died, but who did him in? Was it the Russian mafia? Was it the Italian mafia? Was it the Chinese mafia? No, that one's called La Mort de Papa Legba. I got a couple of really good ones out there. As a matter of fact, I'm about to do a part 2 to that one. That's going to be one of the next projects to do like a part 2.
So, Mr. Fletcher, let me ask you, do you plan on turning these books into any type of movies or film?
Yes, I can get some funding. I believe first I need to find an agent or a publisher. So cross your fingers for me on that one. I got to find like an agent or a publisher, or if I could, you know, if that's going to be one of the first things to do. If I find like a agent or a publisher, then I can basically, you know, get one filmed into a movie. Of course, that's the ultimate goal. But the thing is, I have enough material for a TV show. I could do this once a week. You know, I got enough material. Because, see, you know, because I'm going to be honest with you, when I first started out, I started out doing Christian comedy. Okay? I started doing the Christian comedy. And the thing was that some of this material was so serious that I had to stop doing the comedy altogether. You know, so I stopped doing the comedy altogether and just started writing serious novels. You know, basically I had a Christian comedy stand-up act. I did stand-up, but some of the material that I came across was too serious to make jokes about. So what I started doing was writing action novels. You know, I was like, okay, this the devil. All right, I got something for you. I'm gonna make this more serious and put this in a more serious light than making jokes about it. So I started writing the action novels.
Well, that is awesome. We hope to see it on the film. So you heard it first here that he's looking for an agent, you guys. So when you hear this and you know a good agent, please reach out.
Yeah, check it out. Blurb.com, Dance of the Mongoose, blurb.com. And check it out on at Issues by FCM on Twitter, or Real Duane Fletcher, Duane spelled D-U-A-N-E, on Instagram. And both of those have links to my website where you can talk about, you know, basically what I'm talking about right now is you know, there's a lot of issues that's got to do with the coronavirus and the stock market and the lockdowns and political stuff, and so I talk about all of that different stuff and try and bring it to a palatable light that people can enjoy without, you know, being caught up in the monotony of this regular news and stuff like that. I talk about some entertainment issues also. So, but the website was like a hobby at first to do like a blog. I was doing like a blog, but now hopefully if the writing takes off, I can do it professionally. And it won't be just like a opinionated blog anymore. It'll be like a real news source that you know, people can book from me and things like that. But like I said, I got to sell some books, got to get an agent, got to get a publisher, and that's what I'm going for right now.
Well, POWER904 is behind you. We'll do what we can to push this out and try to link you up with some agents and publishers and things like that. So you'll be hearing from us soon. So I do thank you, and I enjoyed this time we've had to talk about your book and your past, and that coronavirus information was very, very important. So you guys listen out and take care. We enjoyed it. Any last words, Mr. Fletcher?
No, that's it. Like I said, we need to pay attention and remember, Jacksonville strong. Hopefully, if people are paying attention, nothing will happen in Jacksonville like it happened up there. Because like I said, when this person went to court, when this Chinese spy or something whenever she went to court, all hell broke loose. And now everybody's on lockdowns, and there's a coronavirus floating around. And this was right when she went to court. And like I said, I'm pretty sure the Canadian authorities noticed the time frame. And then we have a Chinese James Bond trial coming up right here in Jacksonville too. So hopefully we can be Jacksonville strong and not let it affect us like it affected them up there. And as a matter of fact, one last thing to say. I have a book coming out about that. It's called Lionfish. It talks about the Chinese fishing fleet and this Chinese James Bond that was working for them that they just caught here in Jacksonville and put him in jail. The feds caught him. NCIS. You ever watch NCIS with LL Cool J? I mean, yeah. Well, that's basically who caught this guy. Not LL Cool J, but like a serious real life version of this. They caught him and they put him in jail, and he was working with the Chinese fishing fleet, and he's got people working for him in the streets and things like that. But basically, it's called Lionfish. And that's going to be coming out soon, too, also. But it's about that court case. So you will stay on the lookout, and that's going to be on blurb.com also. So keep up with it and keep up with the news and stuff like that, because this is an action novel, but this is real stuff that's going on here. So I'm writing action novels about the stuff that's going on.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Fletcher. We will be pushing it out there, and hopefully we'll have you back on once the trial starts so we can stay with it together. So you guys, go get the book. Check out Blurb. He has a bunch of books on there you can go through and see how you want to enjoy what you want to enjoy. So let's do that, and around the world again, let's stay safe. Thank you, Mr. Fletcher.
All right, don't forget, Dance of the Mongoose, blurb.com, Lionfish coming soon, blurb.com.
Power 904. Power 904.